Hey lacrosse friends, welcome once again to Lacrosse Link, your link to all things lacrosse. This week on the show, a couple of great interviews. I speak with Arena Lacrosse League champion, the Arena Lacrosse League West champion, that is Keegan Bell of the Sea Spray. The new league, new team, new champions, and it was a pretty fun process for them. A very exciting and a little scary process for them down the stretch as they had to face some adversity in the playoffs that they hadn't necessarily faced as much during the regular season, but they pull it out. We have a great talk with Keegan Bell. And from one of the hottest teams in the National Lacrosse League, Tracy, Kelusky, the head coach of Panther City Lacrosse Club, who have won 5 games in a row. They were sitting at 1-8 as an expansion team. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not shocking if an expansion team is in that situation. It is pretty surprising that they have won 5 straight, but they are believing and they're having a lot of fun playing in this National Lacrosse League season and winning games, and right in the thick of a playoff battle. Enjoy the conversations with Keegan Bell, Tracy Kelusky. Stick around for the rundown where we share what you need to know from the world of lacrosse. I'm Steven Stamp. This is Lacrosse Link. Thanks for being with us.
Beautiful play, Aaron Gray Eyes. He is having himself a tournament. He made the save regardless of the crease call, and that shows he is at his acrobatic. In the middle, it just bounces off, but it's picked up and scored.
Joining me from the Arena League West champion Sea Spray Lacrosse Club, Keegan Bell. Welcome to Lacrosse Link.
Yeah, than's for having me. Excited to be here.
It's great to have you on, and exciting to see the way that league has grown. I want to talk about the championship because, you're on this team. You've been pretty much the top team the whole season. You win your last 4 games in the regular season. You're coming down. It's looking good. You're 9-3, top club. But then you get into the finals and lose the first game of the basically 2-game finals and have to go to overtime of the second game just to force the mini game. So it was, as much as things went well, there's always some adversity, right? And what was it like going through that and getting through and winning that championship?
Yeah, absolutely. That first game, again, Brandon Humphreys, the goalie for the Grizzlies, played unbelievable again. He played unreal in the second game too. For us, it was just about going in and, we're in the playoffs now. So nothing during the season really matters anymore. You're starting brand new. So we knew we had to come out. We had to come out hot. They actually scored with I think it was 35 seconds left in game 1 to take the lead there. So that was a bit of a heartbreaker. I thought for sure we're going to see overtime in that one too. But going into game 2, going into overtime again, it was, same kind of message. Like we're back at 0-0. What's next for us? What's up next? And, thankfully, Johnny Hosseth scored a big goal there to extend it and, give us a chance to play for a trophy. Right. So,
yeah, it's what a series. You guys get ahead, but it's a low scoring game. The first one, they score, like you said, the last couple late in regulation time to win the first game 9-8. Then the second game winds up being a 14-13 game where, again, they scored late to force the overtime, right? They get a couple of goals. So it's it must have felt at times like, maybe, because I'm sure you guys felt like, hey, we're the team. This is our chance at a championship. And then it sometimes things just feel like they're going against you, and you really have to stick with it in the overtime and into the mini game.
Yeah, absolutely. Having to be resilient through it, especially, we had 75 shots in that game 2. We had 75 shots on net, which is absolutely insane. So that was the big thing for us, was what we're doing is working. If we're getting all these shot opportunities, they're going to start to drop. I think we were down by 4 at one point in game 2, pretty early there. So we knew we had to get rolling a little bit, but like I said, offensively, what we were doing was working. Getting 75 shots in a lacrosse game is a pretty high number. So, he's not able to stop every single one of them, thankfully. So luckily it was one more than the other team. So
I want you to talk about what happened in the mini game as it was coming down late in the game. You've played a game on Saturday, you're playing Sunday, you go to overtime, then you go to the 15-minute game. I'm sure everyone was feeling a little heavy in the legs, but what was your situation in that last minute or so leading up to the championship winning goal?
Yeah, we were definitely pretty tired. No doubt. It's kind of hard to play a full game that went into overtime, rest for 10 minutes, and then get back into a 15-minute like kind of do or die game. So it was a lot of emotions and keeping your emotions in check. But that last minute there, I actually wasn't going to go out on the floor. I was cramping a little bit and I was my legs were really sore, but ended up making the decision to call a younger fella off, and which is Robbie Hosseth. I called him off. I was like, I'm gonna go here, and he's like, yep, no problem. So he got out of the way, and luckily I grabbed the loose ball in the corner and took a shot with, I think it was like two or 3 seconds left on the 30-second shot clock, and ended up going in. So
it was, I mean, you had a defender right on you. It was you had to change up the angle and really go far side there. The shot was pretty well placed. I mean, it wasn't, watching, you scored a bunch of goals in the playoffs, in the final series, but a lot of, like, you like the dead overhand, right? You like the classic traditional shot, it looks like, but this one you really had to switch things up a little.
yeah, for sure. Biggest thing was that late in the game, every opportunity counts, right? So I knew if I had a chance to shoot the ball, I was going to put it in a place that I usually go to. I love throwing it low glove or high corner on that right side. So for me, that late in the game, needing a reset was the biggest thing. So I knew no matter what, I had to hit the net. You can't miss the net and have the ball roll down the boards with a minute left and have a fast break opportunity. So after grabbing that loose ball, it was kind of like, I know where the net is, I know where I want to put it. I just gotta make sure it gets all the way through and hit something. And I mean, luckily it went in, but it was kind of funny after it went in, I got hit into the boards, and I actually didn't see the ball like travel at all because I got hit. So when I hit the boards, the away team's fans were all along the glass right there in front of me, and I saw every one of them put their hands on their head, and I was like, "Oh, guess it went in. Sweet."
Nice. That's a fun way to find out.
It was pretty funny. I would have liked to see the path of the ball, have that image in my head forever, but I was chewing on plexiglass instead and having a look at the fans. So
it's like many a quarterback who throws up, the game-winning touchdown pass and finds out about it while he's laying on his back. Standing in, take the hit, get the
totally
throw, get the shot. It's the same kind of thing.
Make the play, exactly.
So I want to talk a bit about the Arena Lacrosse League West as a whole, just because I know it's meant a lot to you as a guy who's with Vancouver on the practice squad, and it's such an opportunity to keep your sticks in your hands and to be playing some meaningful games. And what difference has it made for guys like you in BC and, to an extent in Alberta and elsewhere?
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. So before COVID hit, I was on the practice roster with the Warriors that year too. And we didn't have any arena league. So there was nothing else to play for. So sometimes, you get the odd bounces during the season where maybe like Vancouver's got 2 straight away games and then a bye week, and you don't travel to those away games. So you're sitting for 3 weeks, trying to emulate as much lacrosse specific stuff as you can, working out in the gym and just making sure your sticks in your hands. So to be able to have this league where, we can go on weekends when our teams are playing and we can go play in that 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock spot and still get home and be able to watch the NLL guys play is a pretty cool league, especially for considering that we had nothing before, where it was you were trying to figure out stuff on your own to kind of keep your sticks in your hands. And it'll make I think it'll make the WLA and the junior seasons that much better when we get rolling there. Everyone will already be in mid-season form.
It helps so much. I've seen that over the years with guys who do play it, have made big strides with the Arena Lacrosse League East and before that CLAX, because they've been going for a number of years, and it's made a huge difference to guys. And it's funny because it's a lot of the same people, obviously, that you've grown up playing with and against, I'm sure, in the league, but it's just a little different. It's just a little added bonus to the availability of lacrosse on the coast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, again, it's a great opportunity. And there's a lot of guys that, you play against throughout the WLA seasons. You never really get to be on their team, or, for our age group, we had a bit of a younger age group than that 97 group, kind of in and around that area is where a lot of the guys on our team fell in. Like guys like Johnny Hosseth and the Lupel brothers and stuff like that. So I'd never really gotten to play with them before. So it was pretty fun to be able to mix it up and play a couple games with them, see what it's like. And then I guess we got, camp starting up for the WLA in I guess a month here. So that'll be exciting.
Well, really appreciate you taking the time to come on. Congratulations for sure on winning the inaugural Arena Lacrosse League West Championship. And I hope it works in terms of getting you ready to roll with this WLA season. That's also going to be different to anything we've been seeing lately, of course.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Hi, this is Jaden with Al Anderson Source for Sports. Excited to tell you that we got all our new lacrosse product in for this upcoming season. Whether you're playing box or field, our lacrosse experts are going to make sure we get you into the right equipment to elevate your game. At Al Anderson Source for Sports, we know our stuff.
Joining me on Lacrosse Link from the playoff contending Panther City Lacrosse Club, head coach Tracy Kelusky. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Stamper. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's great to catch up. And I mean, honestly, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, when you're sitting at 1-8, which is it wasn't a bad thing for an expansion team. I know you want to win games, but it's the nature of the beast having to put together a roster from the players that, weren't protected by other teams, but you've worked and worked and worked. I don't think at that point, even you guys would have thought, we're going to go win 5 games in a row. What's it been like, the way things have started clicking?
Who said we didn't think we were going to win 5 games in a row? You said that, not me.
I said that. You think you're going to win 5 straight when you're still at 1-8?
Well, when we're sitting at 1-8, like you look at it, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, we lose 4 1-goal games. There's a couple games certainly that, I didn't think we belonged in, and we addressed that. But, this whole thing has been a process, right? And we're building something, and no different if you're an expansion club or if you're a team that's been around for, 10 years or whatever. You're still every week you have to make adjustments. Every week you have to get better. And our MO from day one was, enjoy the process, stick to the process, trust the process, and build relationships, right? And we're sitting at 1-8. Again, I said it week in and week out. Like the week before when we lose a 1-goal game, even week 1 when we lose an overtime to Philly, it's like, hey, we're checking a lot of boxes. There's a lot of things that we can clean up. And collectively, that's one of the things we talked about even after last game. It's like, it's a lot easier to have those clean up conversations when you're winning. But it's, credit to the boys for sticking with the process and trusting it and building something that is right now seemingly going pretty well.
Yeah. And to be, completely transparent, looking at the standings, the only other team in the league that has won as many as 5 games in a row right now is the Buffalo Bandits, who are sitting at 12-1. So as much as every week, like I think it's a really good point you make. Like, hey, you're right there. You're in the close games. You're getting better. It's the process, and the process is coming. But I think I'm probably not the only person who thought, 5 wins in a row for an expansion team is a lot. And I think it's really cool to see the difference it's made, and just how much that you guys seem to be enjoying it, for one thing, and the fact that it doesn't seem shocking. It doesn't seem now at this point weekly, like, no, I don't think people are surprised when you win. I think people who are picking who's going to win during the week are saying, hey, Panther City, I'm picking Panther City this week. That's a pretty neat development.
Oh, it is. And again, credit goes out to the guys, right? And you said it bang on. We're having fun, right? Like, guys are chomping at the bit, to get back to Fort Worth or wherever we're playing as soon as we leave. And we've created that environment. Well, the boys have created that environment. Tip my hat to Bob Hamley and the research that we did behind the scenes and selecting the guys that we've chosen to represent Panther City. We picked guys for a reason, and in large part that was because of their character. And when we were 1-8, we could easily push the panic button. We could easily fire sale or whatever and beat these guys down. But we stuck with everything that we've talked about since day one, getting better week in and week out, cleaning the things up that we need to clean up, but most importantly, making sure that guys are wanting to come to the rink and are enjoying coming to the rink. And we certainly have a lot. And it's when you're winning, it's a lot of fun. But it's we know how hard this league is, how hard it is to win in this league. And we're not taking anything for granted, and we're just going to continue to build.
You mentioned credit to Bob Hamley as well as the players, and I know you and Bob work closely together to see who you want to have there. And one really fascinating aspect of this is that there aren't a lot of players added that are basically street free agents added late in a season in the National Lacrosse League at this point. Teams are generally going to their practice squads. They're just, it's not that common. You just bring in a couple of guys, throw them in and be active and have them make a huge difference well into a season. But you've got Cam Milligan and Dean Farrell have both had huge impacts late in the season. Were you a bit surprised by how well they were able to jump in and perform when they came in, when you had to, when you were reaching to that, to the street free agent level?
You know what? Yeah, we said we're sticking with the process. We certainly, I got to tip my hat to both those guys. In particular, well, on the offensive side, we manufactured 20, we had 17, and those guys have been a big part of that. So certainly, tip my hat to Cam Milligan and Dean Farrell. They've done an exceptional job since they've come in, and they're on the outside looking in. And they came in and made most of their opportunity. But that's the messaging throughout our locker room is, hey, this is an opportunity you have. You're an expansion club. People didn't protect you for a reason. Not that they didn't want you, but what are you going to do with this opportunity? And certainly Millie and Dean have stepped up and provided us. Millie's provided our power play in particular. Since acquiring, and Dean too, since acquiring both those guys, our power play's been up significantly. And when you're able to contribute on that end of it, I think guys are able to play a little bit looser and not grip the sticks as much. And so it's good on the playing side of it, obviously, but it's good for the psyche part with everybody else as well. So they've been a welcomed addition, and certainly our success is credited to those guys as much as anybody.
You're right in the thick of a playoff race now. You've got these wins under the belt. You've got the team into a pretty good situation. I'm curious, and the way that you're looked at definitely changes from everyone outside. I'm getting from you and knowing you for years now, I sense the suspect that it's very much stay on course, same thing every week. I don't imagine you're changing much in how you're approaching the games now that they have greater significance for other people watching them.
No, our approach hasn't changed the whole time, right? If anything, it's hey, we have to elevate now, right? Like it's a lot easier to be the hunter than the hunted. Certainly now that we're not tricking anybody, people aren't going to take us for granted. One of the messages that we said against Colorado is we're going to get their best, right? Dylan Warren, I thought was phenomenal that game. Their defense stepped up, and credit to our guys for finding a way to win that game. Our D hunkered down, and Nikki DeMood stepped up for sure. So. The message is we can't be content, right? We can't be content with where we are. If anything, we have to, again, elevate. We have to watch more film. We have to prepare better. In a bye week like this, we have to pound the pavement. We have to make sure that we're working on our strength and conditioning, and we're checking all those boxes. And again, I don't want to pat anybody on the back right now, but certainly our guys have done that work. And hence why we've had a 5-game win streak here. But again, we have to continue to work, right? That's first and foremost.
What's the music that you guys are dancing to in the locker room after you win games? Is it the same all the time? Who picks it? And are you enjoying that, or are you kind of sliding to the side once the kids get the music going?
Well, you certainly want to enjoy wins, right? It's a hard league to win in, and we certainly don't want that to be a distraction. But we certainly, again, we talk about, the difference versus winning and losing. What Mondays feel like when you're losing, and what they feel like when you're winning, right? And certainly celebrate the wins, but it's same song. We had a team builder, early in the year where the boys went all out and sung karaoke, and there's a bunch of different songs that came up, but that was the song that the boys picked. And it's pretty cool to see, how that came about. Again, from a team builder to, that's our song in the locker room where the boys have a little bit of fun. And, we give out our hard helmet award to, the hardest working player. And the way the guys have embraced it has been pretty awesome.
Really appreciate you hopping on. It's always great to catch up, and it's a pretty neat thing to see the way that things are shaped up. And I and everyone I know are fascinated to see where you guys go from here. So good luck down the stretch, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate you having me on.
And we're at the rundown where we share with you things you need to know from the world of lacrosse. And having spoken about the Arena Lacrosse League West and the Sea Spray winning that championship with that winning goal by Keegan, we're going to talk a little bit about the Arena Lacrosse League East. The men's division is heading towards the end of its regular season, but there has been some snipers domination. The Six Nations Snipers have won the junior division and the women's division of the ALL East. And the senior men's snipers, have clinched a top 2 spot. They are going straight to the semifinals of the ALL East Championship. They've got to be some favorites. They're 8-2 in the regular season with a couple of games to go. They've won 4 straight games. They're a plus 61. There's only one other team in the ALL East that has a plus in goals for and against. That's the Whitby Steelhawks at plus 16. So that's a 45 goal difference between them and the next team. So there's a very good chance the Six Nations could take all 3 divisions in the East. We move up to the National Lacrosse League, and we see some dominance at that level as well. In this case, it's the Buffalo Bandits with their domination. They were playing the Halifax Thunderbirds, a home-and-home series in Week 17 this past weekend. And it was supposed to be the big challenge for a Buffalo team that came in at 10-1. Well, Buffalo dominated again. Halifax is a very good team, but they wound up falling now to 4 straight losses because Buffalo beat them 16-11 both times. Saturday in Buffalo, Sunday in Halifax. What a performance. Buffalo is looking amazing. There are 3 other teams in the East that are plus, again, in the goals for and against. That's Toronto at plus 17, Halifax at plus 6, Georgia's a plus 4. The Bandits, with their 12-1 record, are a plus 54 goals for and against. You could say they're like the Six Nations Snipers of the National Lacrosse League. Speaking of the Bandits, Dane Smith is having an incredible season. Of course, he set the record for points in a season with 137, and he's actually on pace to get very close to that. His current pace through 13 games has him on pace for 136 points. So he is pushing a record that looked when he did it like it would be very difficult for anyone to get after. Nobody's really gotten close since. Of course, we had the partial season, we had the canceled season, but there have been some seasons since, and nobody has pushed it. He's also on pace to obliterate the assists record, which has grown gradually but incrementally, you could say, since the season went to 18 games. In 2012, it was set at 82 assists. In 2015, 2 players got 83 assists each. In 2016, the next year, a player hit 83 assists. And then in 2018, Mark Matthews set the current record with 84 assists. Dane Smith is on pace for 90 assists this year. So he is having an amazing season around a great team. One of the big topics of discussion that came up after we recorded last week's show is the Premier Lacrosse League telling players, not announcing anything officially or publicly, just telling players that they can't go and play in Major Series Lacrosse or the Western Lacrosse Association. It just seems it's tough. PLL does a great job of a lot of things, and I'm a fan. Everyone's fans of what they're doing in many ways, but Where did the players on your championship chaos team develop? It was not in the places that they'll be playing if you stop them being part of MSL and WLA. I feel like decisions to limit where players can play, they're not in the best interests of the game. They're not in the long-term interests of lacrosse. They tend to be short-sighted, protectionist approaches that are decidedly selfish. And I would really like to see that reconsidered. I know players are hoping to find ways to do both. Some players are going to be forced into difficult decisions, and it's not fair. It's not fun. I say let everybody play. Let them play where they want and just offer the best option for players to choose to play for you. A really nice story in the National Lacrosse League. Dan Lomas has returned. He's played 3 games now with the New York Riptide, and they've won a couple of games. They're doing well. He's playing well. I don't know if it's a coincidence that they've started to win more games with him back in the lineup. He has really contributed to that team, and it did not look good last summer playing the MSL Classic. I was watching the game when he injured himself. I believe it was the Achilles, and you could hear him over the broadcast expressing his displeasure with what had happened. It was painful, it was frustrating, and it's been a difficult road back, but he is back, and it's just great to see him back in the league. We've seen some cool return to the NLL stories with Tyler Garrison getting back and now Kellen LeClaire. You can see both of those, hear conversations with both of those guys on recent episodes of Laxbeat, which you should be checking out regularly, especially since we're now back on Inside the Cross podcasts. But seeing Dan Lomas, might have to get him on the show and just make it a trifecta of players returning from tough injuries and getting back to the game that they love. It's really cool to see. Finally, if you're able to help, the lacrosse community is so great at helping others within the community. The Oxford Lacrosse Club, part of the Southern England Men's Lacrosse Association, they have a dome, a bubble area that they can go and play in. And it's a box facility, but they don't have change doors, so they can't do proper changing. They can't do really play real box lacrosse. So they're doing a fundraiser to try and get the money to get those put in. And if you can help, it would be great, even if it's just sharing so other people who might be able to kick in some money can contribute. Or if you can contribute a prize, a reward that people could get if they put in a donation, that would be great as well. We've got the information up on the screen. So the lacrosse community, help if you can. And I know everyone helps so much in the world of lacrosse. And we have just shared with you what you need to know from the world of lacrosse in the rundown this week on Lacrosse Link. I'm Steven Samp, your host. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time. Have a great week.